Hey, what is up? This is Jake Hofer with Exodus Trail Cameras. We have a brand new video version of our podcast, Trail Cam Radio. We recorded the conversation on the first Saturday of the Great American Outdoor Show, and it is a conversation with Corey Anderson and Brett Smith. We talk a little bit about Corey's UFC career and also their new project, Rise and Grind Outdoors. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you do enjoy the conversation.
Lights, camera,
follow the trail.
ready to shoot.
If you know where a deer's bedding and you know where he's eating, that deer should be dead.
Camera!
If you're passive on a deer, what you're doing is you're teaching them.
I've got 30 bucks in the Michigan record book. Everyone but one has had at least one previous wound on his body. Some had as many as 4.
Trail Cam Radio from the guys at Exodus.
All right, we're live at the Airbnb, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We got Brett and Corey Anderson. Thanks for stopping by. You guys had dinner with Cody. It's about, 10, 15 or so. And thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. You guys were at the show all day. We were at the show all day. We were able to line it up.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, cool to be here.
So, I guess real quick, for people who don't know who you guys are, Brett, what do you do for a living and who are you?
Yeah, so my name is Brett Smith. I'm the owner of Whitetail Land Management Services, which is basically a habitat management company. Travel around the United States. It's kind of based off of if I can't have success in public land where the odds are completely put against me, then I don't come to your state and help you. It's one of those things where, like I said, I've tried to put myself in the worst case scenario. If I can come out on top, then I can probably help you in some way with your private parcel. So that's the way I look at it. So,
what all states do you serve then?
Kentucky, Illinois, Wisconsin, Missouri, Indiana, Michigan, and I think that's all I got right now. Yeah.
Pretty good start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
And Corey, in case anyone hasn't.
Before I introduce myself, I'm going to let you know, he ain't that good. Only thing he did good last time, he got the weather right. It was supposed to rain. He's like, it's not going to rain. We didn't see any deer, though. No, it's joking.
Yeah,
That was my father's fault. My father fucked that up. Excuse me. But I'm Corey Anderson, Corey Overtime Anderson, number 5 UFC fighter, light heavyweight right now, and an avid bow hunter.
Absolutely. And we talked briefly at the show last year. You came through the Harrisburg show, and then it wasn't much later. All of a sudden, I'm on podcast, iTunes, and I see Corey Anderson, Joe Rogan. I was like, no way, that's freaking awesome. And kind of following you a little more closely afterwards. How did that work? Does Joe reach out? Does young Jamie reach out? Does he have management, or what is that?
Joe reached out to me personally. I mean, we always talk at the fights. We're always in the back before weigh-ins. Like, we literally sit there and talk hunting. Back and forth, this bow, this arrow, talking different setups and what I do, what he did, how John hooked him up. And literally one day I was on the couch. He never reached out to me. He's liked a couple of my posts, like when I'm shooting my bow. I'm literally on, it's like midnight. We're watching a movie. I get a notification. It's Joe Rogan. I'm thinking it's one of those fake accounts. I pay no attention. I go into bed like 2 o'clock, and I swipe up, and I see they got the blue star. Like, wait, this is really Joe. Like, hey, man, when next time you're going to be in L.A.? I'd love to get you on the show, and we can shoot the bow, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I have no plans to be in LA. I was like, I can make it out in like a couple weeks. Why was that? He was like, yeah, I'm open. So book your tickets and come on out. Like, I'm out, babe. 2 weeks, I'm gone. That's it. 2 week notice, I'm out of here. And that was it. And now we text back and forth often. It's pretty cool to have a relationship built like that outside of the UFC, where he's an actual person I can reach out to if I need help with something, getting a hold of somebody, or, just somebody to help advertise or just talk to.
Yeah, he's a ginormous platform, and from what I've listened to a lot of his podcasts, he just seems like a great person overall, and he talks to a lot of different people. And one of my favorite things of that interview that happened was at like 2 hours and 20 minutes, Joe was like about to wrap up the show, and you're like, no, I want to talk about hunting.
Yeah, like that was the reason why I came. I didn't come for this MMA garbage. Yeah. I live this thing every day. I want to talk hunting. But yeah, Joe is just a super cool dude, laid back. I mean, I'm pretty sure because he's always smoking too, like, chill, bro. But nah, it's like, that's his thing, and I have nothing against it. I just don't do it. And just sitting there and talking, you just find out how smart, and he's just a intellectual, just kind of like a genius of his own, like a guru. Like you see people with tattoos of him with the Illuminati, all that stuff. You can look at him in many different ways. He's just a very knowledgeable, insightful guy. He has his own opinion, but he doesn't put it on anybody. He's an open book, willing to take in anything. He's always willing to learn new things, and that's just hard to find people like that. Most people bullhead and stuck in their ways these days.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So much like that podcast, we're not here to talk about UFC. How was your guys' season last year?
fighting or hunting?
No. How was your deer? Like, I don't know anything about UFC. So,
Oh, okay.
So let's
I
talk
was gonna say,
about
I mean, I had a pretty good year. But how about you, Brett?
Yeah.
How many mule kicks you missed?
No. Only one. I shot a buck in Missouri to start it off. Then I hit a real nice buck, like a 150 class buck in Kentucky in October. Then I finally filled my tag. Well, not finally, but filled my Kentucky tag November 4th. And then I filled my Wisconsin tag late November. And then I tried to fill an Indiana tag, but didn't have any luck. So it went good, though. I mean, I can't complain about that. So it's a good year for me.
I didn't have the greatest season. It was hard. First year having a baby, you know, it's hard to get out. I hunted literally every day the year before. And to having a baby, I can only pick and choose the days the wife won't let me go if had a sitter, what it was, traveling between fights. I had 2 fights during camp, or 2 fights during hunting season. So when I'm in camp the last 4 or 5 weeks, I stopped hunting. I like everything up, so I took time away. I pretty much started my year off from the bad season. I got the doe opener because you got to earn a buck, shoot a doe. Then the buck I was chasing came out. He came out with like 10, 15 minutes before light, and he stopped. As he made his way in, I wanted to make sure it was the right one. I picked my binos up, and the lanyard caught, and he heard it. He looked and turned straight on. I tried to sneak the shot behind his shoulder. I hit him, but never found him. Never saw him again. I saw one other buck in Jersey during the rut, and it was a nice 8-pointer, literally 10 yards. But I saw a 10 on camera, and I was like, I'm going to wait. The 10 is going to come out eventually. I ended up going to Canada 2 days later. I got a nice 11-point out there, but I missed the rut back in Jersey. So when I came back, I never seen another buck, nothing but spikes and does. So I got my freezer filled with does and whatnot. That's always most important. But this is the first year I didn't get to fill any of my doe tags. So
what's it like hunting in Jersey? Because we kind of see like both sides of the spectrum. We talk to guys that are killing like really, really big deer in Jersey, and then you talk to other guys. It's like everything's completely overrun with people. Pressure is absolutely insane, whether you're on private or public. You got to worry about people stealing all your cameras, your tree stands. Like, what are you experiencing?
I mean, it's a little crazy. The first year I did it, I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard of Blood Origins or whatever. I did a thing with them. You can see my story on there. Yep. Where I'm from, being a black guy in the woods, periods are always sketchy. You know, you got to sneak in and out. My wife, she's her in-law, or my in-laws is the Quistos because of her. So she grew up in a hunting atmosphere, and she used to you walking in and out with your light, and you know you don't have to sneak in and out. Boy, she came to Jersey, and so I'm like going out. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black, and she never seen a light. She texts me, "How'd you get there?" I say, "No light." And I'm like, I memorized a path, and I just studied it. So in Jersey, that was the sketchiest part. Like I was at certain places I couldn't go. I only hunted a few places because I wasn't sure how people would react to it. It was my first time. Then I started to talk to people and figure I can get private access. And then hunting was a lot more fun in Jersey. I mean, people are against, like, oh, you can bait, blah, blah, blah. That's not ethical, whatever it is. But like Ted Nugent said, it doesn't make a difference. You take a bag of corn or you hunt a cornfield. The corn, it needs to eat. And you can get a lot of deer in Jersey. Like I tell you, I can get like 20 deer in a season. There's 3 seasons, and it's crazy. I get 5 does and a buck every season. And then you got the 6-day gun permit, and you buy that, you can get another buck and another 5 does. And you can keep doing it. As long as you buy the tags, you can keep getting them because Jersey is so small and overrun by so many deer. But again, like you said, you know people that get big ones. Like I got a guy at the bow shop. He got them all over. Huge, and he got them all right behind my house. It's private property behind my house he told me about. And me and my buddy, we went out deep and we scoured it, and you can see it was just such a far walk or a trail. I never made it out there. Like I said, I've seen nice bucks and I've seen nice does, and you see the little ones that come out. The first one I killed, my wife being a DeQuisto, she's like, "Oh, I want to see it." Looking in the back of the truck, she was like, "What'd you do, shoot somebody's dog?" And I was like, damn, I guess I'm not going to get accepted into the DeQuisto family, am I?
Does Cody give you shit? Does Cody give you shit?
Well, I didn't even know it was Cody at the time. I didn't even know.
Yeah, tell that story.
Yeah, I had no clue that my wife was related to Lone Wolf Treason. I just
So you didn't know Andre or Cody?
Yeah, I knew her brother and her dad hunted. And I've been in their house, and they got 80 acres of marsh and whatever.
Yeah.
And literally, I'm in hunting camp with my buddies from college in Wisconsin in a cabin. And he's literally watching these Lone Wolf tree stand videos all weekend. I'm not paying no attention. I'm sleeping on the couch. And I wake up and the TV is paused, and Cody's dad and my father-in-law look identical to me. And I'm looking like, why is my father-in-law on TV? I'm like half asleep. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, my father-in-law on TV. He was like, that's not your father-in-law. Like, but you gonna tell me that ain't my father-in-law? That's my father-in-law. He was like, you have no clue. Like, no clue. My father-in-law was on TV. Like, you don't even know what you married into. Like, what are you talking about? Tell me what you're talking about. Like, that's not your father-in-law. That's her brother or his brother. Like, why is he on TV? Like, you still don't know? Like, know what? Lone Wolf Tree Stand, you never heard of it? Like, I've heard of it. No, you didn't know, like, that's your family now? I'm like, no way. I sent a picture to my wife. She's like, oh, that's my Uncle Andre. I'm like, who is he? She's like, oh, yeah, he started a tree stand coming out of my dad's warehouse. So hold on, wait. I've been buying tree stands every other week. Spending all this money online, and your family own, like, the biggest tree stand company in the world. She's like, yeah, well, I didn't know it was that big, and we haven't really talked that much. Like, you better become friends. You better contact them right now. We want a family reunion. And, yeah, I came up here last year when I met you guys, and she's like, oh, my cousin and stuff. Then I went and met him, and that was the first time I got introduced and built that relationship and just keep going back and forth with him. And now, look, I'm here doing this podcast and just built a relationship with so many different people. It's just crazy how the world works.
I remember Cody came over to the booth like, yeah, that's my – like he explained the relationship, and I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. So random and super small world.
Yeah, like I had no clue. So people kept saying, like, why is he so big? Like, that's like legendary in hunting. Like, what, he killed big deer? It's not just that. It's just everything about him. Watch his videos. And now they sent me a bunch of old DVDs. I'm like, dang, these dudes know they shit.
Oh, Whitetail Addiction DVDs. Yeah. I got some old ones at home that still watch every once in a while.
Those are the classics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So how did you did you grow up in a hunting family, non-hunting family? Like,
no, I grew up hunting. Like most kids was, we go to the theme parks and we do this, and this for fun. On the weekends, our weekend hobbies was hunting or fishing. It depends on the season. My father owned a roofing company, so we always worked. Yep. He always said, you work hard, and if we got time, we go play. But most importantly, we got to get the job done. This is our company. We got to make sure this is done. If we got time, we go hunting. We just did rabbit hunting our whole life. Rabbit hunting and fishing, cat fishing. And growing up as a kid, I loved it. I walked the tracks with him and my brother. Him and friends with my Daisy BB gun, And I got my hunter safety car when I was 8, and he gave me a 410. I remember shooting the first rabbit, and then I was addicted to hunting. I loved going out there. When the weekends come, everybody in school, I'm going here to this park, or I'm going to visit my grandma. I'm going to kill a rabbit. Like, you kill her? Yes, I can. And it's crazy now. It's 30 years old. I still get backlash for killing animals. It's just who I was. But deer hunting didn't come along until I was like 16. I started shooting a bow when I was 12. We walked past the strip mall in a store with 3D targets popping up and down. And I was like, that looks pretty cool. Pops, let's go check it out. And we watched it. And my dad bought a Matthews Z2 or something back then. I can't remember whichever one it was. When they first started putting those little bumpers in there to make them silent if you drop them. Then we went back the next day and got me a Browning. And we did 3D shooting for like 4 years. And I got pretty good at it. And I was telling one of my buddies at school I did it. And he's like, oh, you ever hunted with a bow? I was like, what? He's like, you don't know you can hunt with a bow? I'm like, nah. He's like, meet me at my house and I'll take you out. When I got my license and took me out to hunt. And I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. I mean, I didn't get anywhere in the tree stand. I took a climber, and I didn't know how to climb it. I was stuck at the bottom, but the fact that you can sit out there, I could see him going up and down and with his binos. And I eventually kept going. And I wasn't as addicted to it as I am now because I wasn't really killing much. I didn't get my first deer until I think I was coaching in college. I shot some, but it wasn't good shots. Shooting a target and shooting a deer is completely different.
Yep.
And once you're making too much noise, they start moving. I was hitting like not the lethal spots, and I was young. And again, I didn't do it as much because I wasn't addicted. I hadn't killed one. But I think I got my first deal. It was a 10-point buck in Illinois. I was literally getting ready to come out the stand. It was raining. I heard something running through. I look, and it's just something running through. I pulled my bow back up, and it literally stopped 10 yards in front of me. Smoked a hard shot, and I've been addicted since. So
that's cool.
And now it's like me and my father. I would like to say he's my main hunting buddy, but he annoys me more than anything, And Brick can contest to that. He's been with me.
I ain't saying nothing.
Shut up and say it. But
I don't know. He messed
hard.
with our hunt a little bit this year, but it's all good.
Well,
there's got to be a funny story behind that.
Oh, you want to hear it?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Well,
if you want to talk about it, we want to hear it.
I want to put him on blast. Don't nobody invite Henry Curtis Anderson out to hunt with you. I'm going to tell you right now. But
we had some bucks on lockdown.
Yeah.
We did.
Like, it's hard for your father to take anything from you because he taught you everything.
Yeah.
You can't teach him anything.
Yeah.
But the way I broke it down to him, he got a roofing company. Before we get to the story, I told him, would you ever go out and do that job without studying the blueprint? No, you can't. So when I hunt, it's the same way. I'm studying film. I study the cameras. we had cuttybacks out there, and he's close enough to go check, put bait out, and I would tell him, send him the pictures of what we had. We had bucks every day. He put corn out. In daylight, like all day, bucks, dope, big 10s, big 8s, and we had they're gonna come. They've been like
easy
clockwork.
access to the stand, like it was money.
Like 40 yards from where you park, we creep down, we park, come in. Every day they were in there. I told my father, like, all right, we coming down this weekend, so make sure he let people hunt, but make sure nobody's down there. It's muzzleloader season, open muzzleloader, second, whatever it is. Nobody comes and hunt. We coming with the bows only. Bob, me and Brett gonna come and bring my buddy Sean, this. Okay, done deal. I tell him I'm getting ready to leave from this media tour I was doing in New Mexico to go to Kentucky. Oh, well, I'm coming down with Tommy and Darren, and we'll meet you guys down there. Like, what? Nobody's supposed to come. I'm coming by myself. Oh, we coming to shoot the muzzleloaders and this. I'm like, oh, my God. Okay. I'm like, well, just stay away from the 360 blind. They coming out in daylight. They come out in the morning. They come out all day. So if we going to hunt, we don't go out till like 2:30. Oh, you can't tell me, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking it's going to be a problem. I told him, like, we might as well not even go because we're going to get there and they're going to be in the woods. Like, no, he might wait. I'm like, no, he's not. So we get there at 12. I go to the camper, and Darren. They're like, oh, no, they already went out there. I go to the blind. They in there with the blind, all the windows up. The one dude's wearing cologne. They had took the ATVs throughout the whole 80 acres, so they just scared everything up. And I was like, we wanted to shoot them. We came here to hunt. We wanted to sit. Like, look, I told you how it was going to work. We're not going to see nothing. Oh, I bet you I killed something. Okay. Like, well, at least let me hunt the blind tonight because I got to film it because 360 picked me up. Like, all right, you can do that. I killed the only deer that we seen the whole weekking. He get mad. Like, oh, you kept all the secrets and this. Like, no, dude. One, you riding with a dude that's wearing cologne. Like, y'all ain't got no scent spray. We couldn't find none. No scent spray. Nowhere. Just stand outside all night then. It was just all bad. It was riding the 4-wheeler around. He texted me like, we getting down early. Like, wow, we've been out here all day and ain't seen nothing. Like, they don't come till right before dark. About 45 minutes before last night, you hear the 4-wheeler fire up way across. And at the same time, this little button buck come up. And I was like, we're not going to see nothing else. I'm shooting. He's like, no, they're going to come like nothing else. I'm shooting this. Sure enough, shot him or her, it, whatever. But how you consider antlerless. Found it. Not one of the deer showed up on camera the whole week. We had corn everywhere. Nothing. The people next door was coming over, trespassing on half our property. They was shooting guns. Nothing. Day we leave, everything shut down. All the big bucks pop up that night.
It's like they had a vantage point or something. They're watching access or
like
something
as soon
like
as
that.
my dad out there with a generator 2 hook running the motor home. That's firing on and off. It's messing up. They turn it off, turn the gas off, turn it back on, fire it up again. It's like, oh, my goodness, 4-wheelers. And
all the odds are stacked against us.
It was like 10 o'clock at night. I'm on the plane or at the airport delayed. And I said, you'll never believe this. Send me a picture. Big ass bucks in right in front of the camera again, right in front of the blind. Like, as soon as the generator and everything shut off, they knew it was safe. And for like 2 weeks, they were constantly coming back out. Like, oh.
It's funny how they know.
They're just smart animals, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, at that point, they were patterning us like we would want to pattern them.
100%.
I mean, they're smart that way. It's just, I mean, their only goal is to survive.
Yep.
So when somebody comes in and is messing around on the plot that they've been living on and there hasn't been anything going on, they pick up on it and they adapt. And sure enough, like I said, that night, and he's sending me pictures, and I'm just like, they knew. The generator shut off, and that was almost like
they heard that lock go off on the gate. Like, oh, it's safe to come back out to the village.
Yeah.
It's like, we travel all over the place, talk to a lot of different whitetail hunters, and there's sometimes like we think like guys give deer way too much credit, like they're just dumb goats, right? And then on the other spectrum, it's like, God damn, they're so smart. Like how do they even make it to 2 or 3 years old, let alone 4, 5, and 6? You know, so it's like both ends of the spectrum.
There's always stories for both, like both sides. Like sometimes like they're not playing the wind, like they're not using the wind the way that you would expect them to, and then the next time like they got that sixth sense we were talking about. Yep. You just never know what you're going to get into.
Yep, exactly.
So how did you two guys kind of link up, or what did that ever?
So dude started stalking me, man. He'll send me DMs every day, like, Corey, please let me come break down your land. And I was like, look, you can come out if you leave me alone, bro.
I sent him one message.
He came out and he's like, all right, this guy kind of cool.
You gonna let me tell my story?
You might know what's up. It's 2 sides to the story, right?
Yeah, I'll tell mine. Go ahead.
Okay. And I was like, all right, you come out, you break down my land. I give you a little YouTube channel, get some footage on my channel, throw some love your way. And he just kept on texting me. I'm like, you know what? He was like, we should do a hunting show. You know, it'd be cool. Nah. He hit me up in my DMs. I was like, yo, bro, I don't know if like you interested, but I got a whitetail land management company. And I said, you got property in Kentucky, and I'm actually, this is crazy too. Like I'm closing on a house down in Kentucky, so I'll be able to get over there easy. So you send me the address, and I look up the vantage points on my Onyx or whatever, and we can figure it out. So I sent him the address. He's like, no way. He was like, this is literally like, he sent me a screenshot, like, you literally right down the road from me. So it worked out when I went down there, even though he kept scheduling the wrong trip.
Hey, we made it work.
Yeah, it took like 3 times. I went down. He was like, oh, I went home. Or, oh, you coming down this weekend? Like, it's the next.
Yeah, we're just having trouble linking up. Like I said, I heard him on Joe Rogan, and I'll be honest, like, just like hearing somebody from his standpoint that took hunting serious was cool to hear. So I was just like, hey, man, if you need help in any way, I'd like to help you out. And he's like, yeah, I got a piece of land in Kentucky. And like I said, it ended up the piece was not far from where I bought a house, and it worked out. So I went and helped him out. We created a habitat management plan and kind of did all that stuff. Next thing you know, like I said, he had obviously that property close by. We kept talking, I was trying to keep in touch with him. What's going on in the property? How's it looking? This and that. And then we finally, we were trying to plan a hunt for you to come back down all year, but with the fight, it was kind of up in the air when you could make it down. Finally, we set something up. He came and stayed at my place, and here we are.
And that was I wasn't going to stay there. I was going to stay at my dad's buddy's place. But if my dad wouldn't have came down with his buddies, I would have never went to his house. And that's when we talked and got really close. And man, it'd be cool if like we just came up like a show. Like we should do some shit. That could be funny. You know, he laughed off at the joke. And by the end of the weekend, we already – well, not we. This guy had already had a business plan. He was ready to – he was on the gun. Like, you know, one thing I realized is you're not real patient. But it worked out. It's cool. I wanted to do it.
The biggest thing that I took away from when we were hanging out is how much, like I said, we were laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't see a lot of deer. We got one deer down. We had high expectations, but just the way we were meshing, I was like, it was just cool. I don't know. It's hard to run into good people. You know, you figure that out in life as you get old and you keep talking to people, and people always seem like they're decent or seem like they're genuine. And you meet a professional athlete, or you like hear about him, and you always got like this thing like, how is this guy really?
Yeah.
And I was never like at no point did he ever like come off like that. Like it was honestly like a friend I knew for a long time, and that's weird. Like you just don't run into people like that very often. So we hit it off, you know, hanging out and stuff like that, and now we're here.
I even said to his wife before I left, like, you wouldn't believe this is only our 3rd time seeing each other, right? Like, well, we had talked a bunch, but he came and did my property. And the second time was me coming to his house. And the third day, or the second day, or third time, we actually, like, you would never believe this is our 3rd time only visually seeing each other. And we've only hung out twice, really. But it seemed like we've known each other forever, right? It's like, this is crazy. Like, I thought it's been a lot longer.
Yeah.
And we just text each other, and I was just stupid shit, just like a childhood friend.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
cool.
And he's always teasing me, and there's nothing I can do about it because I know
Ain't nothing you can do about it. Come see me. I need practice partners.
I'm good.
That's pretty funny. You know, I guess to Brent's point, a professional athlete being as humble as you are, even like we sit here and we're joking amongst like what normal guy friends would do. You know, there were some things that you talked about on JRE on the Rogan podcast that kind of struck home with me listening to the episode is like the story of you bouncing around in colleges and not like really being crazy about MMA, and the story about like I guess the work ethic that your dad instilled in you. Like looking at that and then looking at like how we built this business. We built this business essentially. You know, there's some big money in this industry, and there's people who have no money, and we've built our company on very little money, but simply on the fact that we're able we just outwork people. Like we just work and we just execute, and it's just a mindset. And when you mentioned like what your dad had said about it only lasts so long, like that is a line that like has stuck with me since that podcast. Like that mentality is something that resonates not only with me, but I think whether you're a hunter, a fighter,
who you are. Yeah,
exactly. Like that's the I don't want to say it's the American dream, but that's the mentality you need to have in America to succeed. Is it only lasts so long.
Yeah, that's a lot of things. Everybody thinks it's a secret to something. It's really not a secret. It's just A lot of people don't want to share the simple things to get there. And all I had to share is it only lasts so long. And it's crazy. I said that in April. That episode was like April 19th or something like that. And until this day, every day, in my requested messages on my DM or on a comment, I always get somebody to say, man, that's still great.
Yeah, it is.
The other day, I got 2 different memes tagged in on Twitter, Friday and Thursday. People was posting, it only lasts so long. It's crazy. Corey Anderson, changed my life with that. And another one is, now it's after a fight, I said there's levels to this. You know, you guys, there's levels to everything. Yeah. And that just blew up again. Like Johnny, he dude from Wicked Tree. I can't remember his last name.
Mulligan. John Mulligan.
Yeah, Johnny Mulligan. Yeah, he hit me up the other night. Like, man, it's crazy. Like you said, that just nonchalant, but it works for everything in life. There's a guy in the industry that keeps talking to me about, you want to do this, and literally, I didn't even mean to say it. It just said, bro, it's levels to it. When you think about it, I tell people, it's not like I made this up. It's something I've heard a long time ago, but people just forget, and it takes somebody to remind them and make it seem like I'm a trendsetter, but I'm not. I'm just sharing the same things that's been told to me, and these are things I live by daily. And
I think a lot of those things probably come off as cliche because they're said so many times, and people are like, oh, that's just a cliche thing. But there's so much, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Just like they say, you can achieve anything you believe in. When you say, oh, that sounds so cliche, it's so cliche. But if you know, like I said on Joe Rogan's podcast, you know where I came from, my story. Everything I always said I want to do, everybody's like, oh, yeah, right, you're never going to do that. You're never going to do it. And I've done pretty much 99% of it. Because my mind is, I've always been the type, I'm not saying something just to do it. I tell my wife all the time, she gets stuff and she don't use it, and I get pissed. You're wasting money or time. She's like, you do all this. I'm like, and when have I not used it? She can't say nothing. Because if I got something, if I do something, I'm going to use it 100%, or I'm not going to do it at all. Same thing with fighting. I remember the day I decided, I looked in the mirror in the bathroom. I was like, we're going to do this or we not? Turn the light off, and I sat on the toilet for about 10 minutes. Turn the light on, said, time for an answer. We're going to do it. It's going to be all or nothing. And if we're going to make it, we're going to make it to the big show. We're not going to do this to fight on the regional scene. It's for any fight. We're going to do it. We're going to make it to the show. We're going to do this all out. We're not going to waste time. 3 fights later, I was in the UFC. 2 fights later, I was ranked in the top 10. It was like I set my mind to it that this is what I'm going to do. There's nothing else. And now, same thing with hunting. I told my wife a couple years ago, I went one season, got 2 deer. And she's like, oh, you didn't do bad. No. I want to get to the point where I'm going to go out. I'm not saying I'm going hunting. I'm going to say I'm going to get dinner. That, I don't have to think, am I going to get something? Eventually, I'm going to get so good at this. I don't have to say, today I might not going to get one. I'm going to have these cameras and the deer mapped out so well. I'm going to have the wind figured out. I'm going to know if I get out at 2:30, at 3:30, I'm going to be home with dinner already. I don't want to say I'm going hunting anymore. I'm going to be that good. And I don't dip and dabble in too many things. But at the same time, I dip and dabble in a lot for a guy on my lifetime. The guy that got so much to do with training, a family, training a dog. If you follow my page, I'm always doing something, which is why they call me overtime. But everything I do is going to be 100%. I will not do it. If it's going to be 99%, I'm going to walk away.
I respect that. I guess the things you mentioned, the progression as a hunter, what does that look like for you as, managing, your professional career, trying to spend time in the woods? A lot of guys that are ate up with hunting they're spending the majority of their free time, which is a lot because they're only probably working 40 hours a week, right? Into, growing or evolving as a hunter, where your time is so damn limited as an athlete, and a family and everything else that you have going on. So what is it how does that progression look like to you?
Make every second count. It's just constant. I wake up early. My wife, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. 6 o'clock. Why are you up so early? I got to finish editing this film or whatever it is. I want to be the best in this video thing. I got to figure this out. Nobody taught me. I didn't go to school for this. A lot of you guys went to school and learned this production stuff. I literally, my buddy.
We're self-taught.
At the Exodus
Everything we're self-educated, self-taught.
People in the industry. A lot of people, either way. So whatever it is.
No, that's fair.
But still, you got time. I don't. So I got to spend time with my wife. I got to spend time with my son. I got to be in the gym. It's a full-time 8 hours a day usually. And I teach classes on the side. I don't have a day job, so I teach classes to make money. My wife yo, you running yourself ragged. You need to calm down. This is this. I'm fine. I get my sleep. I'm up. Don't worry about me. You good? I'm good. The roof over our head, everything is done. And like I said, balance is just, it's hard to find that balance, but at the same time, I'm passionate about everything I do, so it's going to happen. It'll be late nights, it's early mornings. I don't get home from the gym sometimes till 9 o'clock. And I'll jump right to my laptop and start editing the episode till like 11:30. I'll try to go downstairs and do like a little shed hunt or something, a little track in the basement just to play with her and get the scent. And my wife's like, really? Baby sleep? Like, look, I got to get it done. I'm sorry. She didn't get a track this week. This is it. Well, I go out and do a track at a horse farm down the road. It's super late. She's like, what are you doing? Like, I killed deer at dark. You know, she got to get used to that. It's like, you just don't know how to stop, do you? And I can't. I was telling my buddy on the way down here, I don't see how people be like, oh, I had a nice relaxing day. If I say I had a relaxing day, it's like, okay, how many workouts does that include? That's like 2 or 3. My rest day is always active. I can't just sit around and do nothing. I'm in the woods. I'm working my dog, and I'm fixing something. It's just, so for me, when you ask, what's it like? What's the progression for Corey? It's just constant. You know, that's it. TV's always on the hunting channel. My phone is always on some hunting YouTube. I'm reading dog bone stuff from dude. I keep forgetting people's names. Yeah, Jeremy Moore. I've talked to him, asking questions. Ask John Dudley questions. Hit Levi Morgan for questions. Ask Joe Rogan. I'm always asking questions because I've always learned a dumb question is a question you don't ask. It'd be something simple that you might get laughed at. But as a kid, I didn't ask those questions, and now I'm learning late because I was embarrassed growing up in an all-white neighborhood with all these white kids that knew this stuff, and my father didn't. So we kind of learned on the fly. You act like you know, and you just watch somebody else do it, and you pick it up. And now I'm in a place now where I don't, like, again, if I ask you a dumb question, what you going to do? You going to laugh at me? Exactly. It's kind of like, most of the time they're going to tell me, and then they might say something behind my back, but that's fine. I want to know.
I ain't going to laugh. I'm not going to talk behind your back because I don't want no one to find. I don't want no one to find out. I'm not going to think that thought in my head for a second.
But yeah, my mind says just like, if I want to know, I got to ask. There's people that won't tell you secrets, their secrets, because they don't want you to know. But eventually you're going to find somebody. You do enough research, the answer will come out. Like the Bible says, seek and you shall find. That's it. I'm always searching for the questions, and hopefully the answers show up one way or another.
What about you, Brent? Being, I guess, a habitat consultant, I would assume that similar background as far as starting hunting. And
yeah, I mean, I got the same story as a lot of people. You know, going and starting out, your dad took you out early on. I mean, I was like 3 years old. My dad would pack me out, and we'd go out hunting, and he'd find a way to keep me busy and give me the Game Boy or whatever got me out in the woods. He just wanted me to enjoy it. And like I said, I mean, fast forward now, I mean, the thing that really motivated me was I got Lyme's disease at one point, and I got it real bad. I got real sick, and I started like feeling bad for myself because you just couldn't bounce back from like certain things, like health-wise. Like I got sick. I was in the hospital all the time, putting needles in my spine, trying to draw spinal fluid to see if it went to my brain, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I finally looked at the doctor one day, and I said, are they ever going to be able to give me answers? Because it's relatively, there's just not a lot known about it. And it affects everybody different. And so I kind of looked at him and I just said it to him. And he's like, no, I'll be honest with you. Nobody's ever going to give you a for sure answer. And ever since then, I knew that was going to be, it was what it was. And I wasn't going to feel bad for myself. So I stayed motivated. Just in life in general, you know, working out, whatever it was. And then that just kind of transpired over into work life, and it was kind of one of those things. Like, I understand there's a lot of people that got to work that 40-hour-a-week job and do this or do that, and I just said, you know, some people might look at me as lazy, but I don't want to do that. I want to do something on my own. I want to start my own thing, and that's what I did. So, like I said, I mean, it's a venture. It's always scary to do those things, but I think it's a lot scarier if you never do take that step. So that's why I'm at, you know, where I'm at, and I think that's why we mesh so well. Is we got a similar mindset with you know, with a lot of those things and just that outlook on life. So I think that's why we kind of mesh the way we do. So
now you got Rise and Grind Outdoors.
Rise and Grind Outdoors. Yeah, that's what we're starting up. And like I said, we're just going to team up, knock out as many hunts as we can this year, and just try new things. I mean, we're obviously both big deer hunters, but like I said, we're talking about some elk hunts, things like that.
Black bear, hogs, access, blacktail. I got limited, unlimited resources where I can get out and do different things. You know, it's good to have the platform I have and the people I've met.
Absolutely.
Yes, I get invited for so many different hunts, but again, it's like I can't just go with any Joe Blow. But to have, like I said, Brett was saying, he was a Joe Blow that reached out, and it was kind of finicky. My wife was always like, you all just find these people, or you link up with these people. How do you know? Well, at the same time, my best defense, like, what are they going to do, try to kidnap me? Yeah. Like, if it was a bunch of them, it might get me. But for the most part, I can defend myself against one. And you meet them, and they're pretty cool, and again, you just got to reach out there. And like I said, now we got unlimited access to just about anything. In the click of a finger, we can go hunting about anything if we want to pay for it. But we're gonna try to do most stuff on public land or just.
That's the thing. That's where especially my roots are at. And like, yeah, you could go pay somebody to go on an outfitted hunt and stuff like that. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But maybe that just doesn't do it for me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think there's a couple different mentalities there. There's guys that whatever, they're professionals or accountants or doctors or lawyers or whatever.
Yeah.
They have X amount. They have 7 days off and they have to do their thing.
And that's
or whatever.
okay. Yeah,
like,
I get that.
I respect it.
Yeah,
but
at least they're engaging in the sport. I'm cool with that.
Yes, but there's guys that like figuring the deer out, scouting, knowing what to do, when to do it, why to do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the bigger part of the game than just letting an arrow loose, right?
I said that to Josh. We killed a buck in Missouri this year, and I was like, it just always hasn't felt the same walking up on those deer after I harvest them. And I finally realized that I love the chase more than I actually like walking up on those deer.
Gotta love the process.
And it's almost like that sad feeling. You walk up on them, and it was a public land hunt in Missouri, and we were scouting from afar, and whatever the case was, and we drove 6 hours, tagged out that night, and it was like, when we put in the work, but at the same time, I walked up that deer, and I was like, on to the next. I mean, it was kind of sad, So like I said, that hard work mentality, I think, I'd rather put myself in a hard position and figure it out, and it's just so much more self-rewarding, So that's just the way I look at it, so.
I think that same progression goes into a lot of things. Just like now, everybody getting into the crossbow. Once they made it where it's legal for everybody to shoot the crossbow, a lot of people do it. People make fun of them. Oh, you lazy and this. But a lot of people don't have the time to get out there and shoot the reps with a compound bow. It takes time to sight in and be confident.
And you don't want to go out there if you're not confident.
Yeah, you got to have the same put your nose in the same string, same anchor point, same release, same steady. You got to be able to hold it. If it's holding for too long, some people can't hold that bow up there. You get a crossbow, it's pretty simple. It's like a gun. Now I can say I'm a bow hunter. A lot of us don't look at, now I'm not saying I don't, but a lot of people as bow hunters don't look at that as bow hunting. It's like a gun, and I see it from the same point, but at the same time, if you think about it, it's like you said, a lot of business people, they don't have time. It's 40-hour weeks. They don't get time to go out there. They're going to grab something off the shelf, grab a couple bolts, get a broadhead, get a tag. Their vacation for the rut is usually a 5-day vacation, paid vacation. They got 5 days. They don't have time to be practicing. So they get a crossbow, go to the range, sight it in pretty easy. It's like, okay, it's kind of, you think it's guaranteed, but it still isn't. There's a lot of things that go wrong with a crossbow. And they go through the thrill sometimes, and sometimes they go through the agony. But it's all process or the progression of it all. And a lot of people don't have that time to get that.
Yeah, I mean, the industry as a whole is probably, and you guys are probably familiar, but the industry as a whole is in pretty bad shape as far as hunter recruitment, hunter retention. The numbers keep going down and down and down and down. And it seems like even though everyone is aware of the problem and we should be unified in a resolution or solution, there's still like that divide, like, oh, you're a crossbow hunter, you're a rifle hunter, I'm a trad hunter. Like, I can't talk to you. Like, you guys are doing it wrong. It's one of those things that it's, we've talked about it in the past, but it's one of the things that is kind of on our forefront that needs to be talked about more, I guess.
I think it's just something you got to get over. I'll be honest. I've looked at, early on, I've looked at guys like going out with crossbows and like, you're doing it the easy way, stuff like that. Yeah. I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't think that. But at some point, you got to look at the bigger picture and look at the sport as a whole and realize that, numbers are dwindling, and whatever the reasons are, baby boomers or just people aren't interested, whatever it is.
Boomer.
There's a inside joke.
I had to get it off.
Looked over here. There's got to be something going on.
There's like I said, there's so many bigger issues that looking at the way somebody harvests a deer, whatever it is, we just got to get past it. Like I said, I've been guilty of it. I think everybody has probably at some point.
Yes.
We got to get over that. And like I said, with us doing Rise and Grind Outdoors, we're going to try and reach a new audience. And I know everybody says it, but I think with Corey's platform, talking about Cody DeQuisto before, I'm not just calling you the wrong name. With Corey's platform and just reaching a different audience, like let's state the obvious. Corey's a black hunter. You just don't see it a lot. And if we can just help people engage, and just maybe show a little bit of interest, log into our YouTube account and see, maybe some stuff. We'll do some stuff with like Corey fighting. We'll have a little bit of everything in there, and maybe all of a sudden they gain some interest, in hunting. And if they want to start with a crossbow, start with a crossbow. So we're gonna try and do our part with that. Because like I said, we all want to see the sport grow, and who cares the method, of harvest? It is what it is.
If it's legal, we were talking. We had some boys stopped by the booth that they were talking about whitetail cribs and some of the content and stuff we were doing, and they started talking about Virginia, about all the big deer that's been killed in Virginia, and I'm like, oh. Actually, maybe I shouldn't even. I'm not gonna go any deeper than that. But
they see this and come find you.
Yeah. Well, he gave me he name dropped a little bit. He's like, you message me if you want to come hunt Virginia. But anyways, he was talking about running dogs. Like it's legal to run deer with dogs in Virginia, and I was like, oh my god! Like, and you can drop them on one piece of private as long as if you have permission to drop them where you can drop them, they can run through other pieces of private.
Really?
And it's like, well, how in the hell does any deer ever make it to 4? And like, how is it legal to let someone else's? And I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, I had all these questions, and like, I could feel myself starting to like build this anxiety about it. Passing judgment. And the guy was like, well, that's just our culture. Like, we're used to it. Like, that's the way it's always been. It's legal. Like,
that's what they know.
And he's
the
like,
Whites of West Virginia. I don't know if y'all seen that documentary.
What was it?
The Whites of West Virginia. It was an old Netflix documentary on this one family out there. I ain't going to get into it. Just look it up on you. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. But anyways, to your point, it's like, when you're unfamiliar with something and you think it's, out of the norm, maybe it's outside of your hunting culture, like, or it's just different, right?
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and I can see your point about, stating the obvious. Corey's a black hunter, professional athlete. Like, that's not the norm in our industry.
No, it's not. And like I said, I'm not trying to change the world, and neither is Corey. But at the same time, if we can just get more people involved in the sport for all the right reasons, why not? Yeah, that's the way we're looking at it.
At the end, you think of the end of everything you guys just said. At the end is hunter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do, how you do it. You do it with a longbow. You do it with a crossbow.
Doesn't matter
your
color.
You do it with a compound bow. You do it with a gun. You're a hunter. And just like Brad said, excuse me.
I seen that coming.
But just like he said, I'm a black. You don't see many black people in it. But at the same time, it doesn't matter the face. Don't put the color to it. Just don't worry about the race. He's a hunter.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And my whole start of my own YouTube channel, when I talked to you guys last year, I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to do it. I remember I wanted to film my hunts, but I wasn't exactly sure the platform. But later on, I put it together. I wanted to be like, I know like Trent Cole got his own, there's other guys. And I talked to Trent. I'm supposed to get out hunting with him. He's right down the road from me. But I want to, not only do you have to be a professional at it, but my thing was everything I'm going to do, it's going to be a lot of first times. Like my first time putting the food plot, my first time filming, my first time using the XOP stand. And I wanted to let people know that at the end, I always say it in the early episodes, is just remember, I'm not a pro hunter, I'm a pro fighter. But I've been out here all day, and I got this plot put in with all hand tools. And next time I did it with a tiller, and I did it all with this. My first time, I studied and watched YouTube. I sighted in my first single pin. Like, I did this on my own. Like, train a dog. I did this on my own. Remember, I got a professional fighter, and I'm black. I'm a different face. But you can do it, too, if you get out there and do it. That was the whole point of my channel, to get the attention and let people know, like, no, I'm not a professional. You don't see my face on TV for hunting. You see me for fighting. But no, one, I'm a black hunter. And I did it all on my own. Like, you guys can do it too. A lot of people are scared to do it. I talked to them. Frankie Edgar, Eddie Alvarez, all these different fighters. Like, I want to do it. I'm interested. I hear Joe Rogan talk about the meat, the elk meat. I would love to do it, but it's like, did you got to do this? I ain't got time to get the license. I ain't got time to do the class. This and this. But it's just get out there and do it. Now they got their apprentice license. Eddie Alvarez, when he got their apprentice license, he went out a couple of times this year, and he enjoys it. Frankie Edgar want to come out now. I got some other teammates I'm trying to get out. I want to get all of them. I turned a couple of city boys into shooting bows. Now we just got to get them in the tree stand. I want to teach them how to cut their own deer up, make your own meat. I provide meat to the team. I get so many deer. I get too much, I chop it up, seal it, take it to the gym, give it to the coaches. Now, they understand how good it is. If I can get different cultures of people out there and do it, get more hunters, get more people fed, get more of these deer that's overrunning Jersey out of the way, stop hitting cars, put it in your freezer. If I can do more to help out with the community, get people into the sport, and get more racing to the sport, and realize it's not just for one certain person, it's for everybody. That's how the page started off, and then it just kind of, the Joe Rogan, and he said it after, when we got off the mic, just want you to know, it's going to open a lot of doors for you, and a lot of people are going to reach out, and it did. And it kind of just changed, not like it changed so much, but then it went from me being the first timer to a lot of people were expecting me to be like a big time hunter. I always want to start seeing you post this and post that and post this. And it was more not me trying to fulfill what people wanted, but it was more people was only going to watch if it was certain things because now I got more people watching. So it kind of lost sight of the fact that it wasn't meant to be an attention getter. It was hopefully like the first timers can see it and learn from it. It started drawing attention from a lot of people big in the industry, and it was like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. And they kind of sidetracked. But now I'll still have my page, and I can do all the big stuff that people expect us to see more on a professional platform, my partner here. And hopefully we can just combine the two in a way to get people watching from there and direct traffic to his Whitetail Land Management and to the people. If you want to be the first time, check mine out and learn to do it your own.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think the UFC has, with the trickle-down effect of, like, Cam Hanes to Joe Rogan to all the UFC fighters and then all the other so, you know, that impact has multiplied many times, and obviously I think it'll continue to do so as more people do kind of cool things what you're doing.
Yeah, hopefully.
How about this year's elk camp with Rogan, Cameron Hanes, Jocko, Dudley? Like,
it was
how insane
crazy.
would that be?
That's, like I said, I'm just hoping to get out there with John Dudley and Joe Rogan for the Lanai hunt. You know, I think Cam does that too. You know, I've met all those guys before, and they're all fans of mine. And when they came up to me and told me at the fights, and that was cool. And, like, the guys like Beyond the Hunt TV, all these different channels that I watch every day, and I be posting them. They hit me up like, bro, we've been huge fans of yours. Like, we didn't realize you was a big hunter. And it's like to go back and forth with that. It's cool. So being in the hunting camp with any of those guys would be awesome. But when you think of that, it's kind of like you got NBA, the super teams now. That was a super elk hunt.
Yeah.
That was
exactly.
all the gurus and all the guys you want in one spot doing something. You ain't got to worry about no elk getting away. If they shoot, you going down. You know, them was
Not
all
with that crew.
ringers.
That's like
them behind the shoulders.
That's like an elk camp where you just want to sit back and just listen. You don't even want to talk. Yeah, you just want to see what all those
just
guys
been
have
there
to
to
say.
start the fire and cook, man.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Can I rub your feet, Mr. Joe Rogan?
That's good stuff.
Well, anything else you guys want to cover here yet this evening? I don't know what time it is.
It's timeless.
It's timeless.
I ain't got shit to do. You got anything to do?
And I'm here.
We can go as long you talk. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We can go anywhere, any direction.
Let's talk about the industry.
All right.
What's you're just now, I guess, seeing the ropes of it, and obviously, I mean, what's your perspective on it? And obviously, as you guys are building the show, what has that been like for you guys? And
My perspective, I would say, depends on who you talk to. You know, like there's some people that's really just passionate about it. Like when I started mine, like I was talking to people, getting his partners and stuff I had for my channel. I didn't ask for money from anybody. I just wanted stuff to help. You help me get my show going where I don't have to spend money to get the products, and I help advertise yours and get people out there to pay for it. And then I'm really trying to get into the industry with him. Ours, you want to travel and stuff. We need the money for that. And you just realize my talk, I got a lot of friends in it. You know, I got a childhood friend, and I actually taught him how to shoot a bow, and now he's a professional filmer for hunters, and he got his own show. And, like, just talking to these different guys, and they break it down, it's like, man, it's about the money. You know, when you go to these different places, they're expecting you to ask about the money and what can you bring to the table and what are you going to do. You're going to have this set. You have a media kit and all this stuff, and it's kind of like
once you break it down, you really realize, like, if you're looking at a season full of hunts and stuff like that, I mean, you hate to mesh the business side of it, but it's the reality of it, sadly. But, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, you don't want that to be part of it, but it is, sadly. But at the same time, I mean, if that's what it's going to take to do this and get the platform out there and you know, try and inform more people and do whatever we got to do to get more people to join the sport, then it is what it is. I mean, that's just part of it, I guess.
And unfortunately, that's how it is. Like, we had our first serious talk when we actually came up with the name and everything. And I called him, I got home from training. He was, like, calling me all day with all these different meetings he had. And I said, I want to get something straight to you right now. Just know I'm never going to sell my soul for $1. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of people out here, they're going to fake the funk. They're going to say they use this. They're going to say they did that just to get paid. I said, I want you to know before we get any further with this, so I see you moving fast, but don't expect me to put my name on something that I don't support.
And we bumped into both sides of it already.
You know, and that's the thing. I don't want to turn to a hobby of mine, something I love, into, like, I know I'm not going to say names, but I've met people you can tell. In the beginning, when you heard about it, you can tell it was pure love for it. Now it's kind of like they do it for the greed. You know, I done heard stories of people faking funk for TV and stuff that really didn't happen. They edited this in, but it was just to get the money. I was like, when I did I tell all the time, everything I edit, I don't even know how to crop and add the stuff in. This is as real as it get. This is you
Raw,
hear me
uncut.
making noise, like it happens. I'm sorry, I don't know how to cover it up. I want to let you know this is real. I don't plan on faking. Like I heard one guy, he said I got an industry because one time the guy wanted to bring his whole family with, and there was no way we can get the animal to sit still in the stalk. So they ended up shooting it off camera, and they act like they saw another one camera with the bow, and then they put it together where it looked like he shot it with the bow. Like, yeah, he said, after that, I got out the industry. Like, what? They do that? Like, yeah, it's a crooked industry, but that's how they get paid. I'm never going to go that low. That's crazy.
There's so many different layers to that. Like on your end, on your guys' end as a team, like it takes money to go do all these different things. And then like when we look at like from a company end, like when we invest in people, like we're probably the exception. We are very analytical. Like it is like we're extremely analytical where we spend our money, what the ROAS is, like way more than, I mean, we're a small company. There's 4 or 5 guys here, but we probably operate in a manner that a lot of like the big companies do when they're looking at spreadsheets, and that's part of it, but there's still the relationship side. But to your point, like I'm sure there's people, how much is it going to be? And just, here you go, Corey. Here's a check, Brett.
Yeah.
Like, here it is. Go.
Like I said, we bumped into both of those people already, and it's just one of those things. The first thing I'd bring up right away when I'm talking to these companies is loyalty. I mean, we don't want to be with you just because you're going to sign a check to us. We want to know you got a good product. We're not going to partner with you and throw Corey's face on it just because you're going to give us a check. I mean, that's a lie. We're living in a lie then, and that's something neither of us are interested in doing. So like I said, we want to be with quality companies that have quality products, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We're not going to sell our souls to the devil, you know. I mean, we'll make our season work. However, we got to make it work. It's all about loyalty for us and being loyal to the people that we are with, and we're only going to be with those people if we can be good friends with them. We can have a relationship with them and things like that. It's not all about the business side of things. I mean, it's part of it, but we're looking to partner up with good people, and if they don't have the same views as us, we're just not going to go down that road. You know?
At the same time, that loyalty thing, it can go so far and it can go so wrong. You know, like when he first was talking about, I'm looking at this, I'm talking to this, we can get this bow, this tree. And I'd say right off the get-go, like, okay, first of all, like Tethered reached out to us, and they're a good company. And I told my buddy, it was like, I mean, I know they saddle, but my family being lone wolf, that's loyalty. You know, I don't know what lone wolf has right now, going with saddle hunt or anything, but you can talk to Brett. But as for me, I'm out. You know, if Brett can talk to lone wolf and we find out there's no problem, we'll look into it. Other than that, I won't do it. And the other one was PSC, you know. I had a lot of bows. I actually linked with PSC last year here. And I remember Austin called my name from Beyond. He was a fan, and they've been treating me so good since then. You know, a bow I need, anything I need. I'm going out to meet Pete the day after my fight. Him and his daughter. Yeah, they've been huge supporters. They've been contacting me. I talked to them, and I told them right after get-go, we want to make sure we give PSC the first crack. PSC, Lone Wolf, like people else, we're going to give them the first crack before we talk to anybody.
There were certain companies that reached out to him just to help off the bat. And
like, and these people, they've been here since the beginning. I'm not going to sell my soul for $1. You know, if they can give us something that can help us and save us money on the bow or save us money on this, and we can use it, and we use that to build a platform. And next year we'll bring it to them like, okay, this. Now, there's some places like, okay, I want to stay loyal, but at the same point, you really didn't. You helped me, but at the same point, like our contact, our relationship ain't that solid, you know. Yeah, I ain't gonna not put you guys out. Like last year when I came to Exodus, you guys didn't know me. You know, you kind of wrote it off. Yeah. Like, when he told me about the podcast, like, you know, last year when I went up, they kind of just they didn't give me no love. It's kind of like I think they thought I was just somebody using the name to get something.
Yeah,
and that happens a lot though.
Yeah,
people
and
are
over
doing that all the time.
That was like the 7th or 8th day of the show too. After we got pitched 100 times.
Yeah, and I told him like, all right, we go over here, we can do it. You know, maybe we get a couple cameras or something. You know.
Yep. No, that's that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like,
you guys probably, I mean, every company probably runs into so many people. Oh, we're starting up a YouTube channel, and I know this guy, and I know that guy, and this is, you know.
Yeah.
How it's hard on both sides of the spectrum. And then you come in as a loyal guy who's trying to do it for the right reasons, and people are looking at you like, I've heard this story. It's all over the place.
Well, here's the thing. Like, we start talking about the industry, and, you know, we don't like to talk bad about the industry because it's not a good path for the conversation. Like and we're very blessed to be able to do what we do here.
Yeah, I know what you're
and we work our balls off to make it happen. But it's like you have the guys or the teams that start these production shows, and like okay, they're a 501c3, or they have some kind of religious affiliation, or they're helping veterans, and like we're all for veterans. We help veterans like inside of our company, but you have all these people that use these crutches to get stuff to do, like, because there's an alternative motive there. So it's like we learn very fast. Like you gotta screen everybody unless you know that person and know them well. Like you either know them on a relationship level, like as a person, or you have to look at the analytics, and those are the two ways that you look at those investments.
And in this industry, you wouldn't necessarily think that would be an issue, and so sometimes you take it for granted, and you probably get burned in the long run if you go that route. So like I said, there's shady people in all walks of life. It's not just this industry or the next industry. You really gotta get to know people, and there's no other way about it. You just can't go out and risk it just on a whim, and you got to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Bottom line, because like I said, somebody might just think that they got a easy way in because they know somebody, or I got a YouTube channel. Well,
Well, it's funny that you called in the office a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And, like, I answered the phone, and you're like, "What? Who am I talking to?"
First,
you do customer service too.
Yeah, I was like, I've listened to some of the podcasts and stuff like that, and after like a little bit, I realized I recognized the voice. I was like, "Wait, aren't you like the one that like doing all the podcast stuff?" I was like, "You're answering the phones too?" And I mean, I thought that was cool. I mean,
it was funny.
It's funny. Yeah, and I mean, it's cool. It's cool to like
Can't watch work.
It's exactly. It's cool to see this side of it, but at the same time, you're grinding. You're taking the calls, like what a lot of people probably are not doing in other companies. So that's respectable. So, I mean, that was cool to me. I was glad. I was glad to hear that.
It was funny.
That's a lot. Yeah. Anyways, I guess going back to in regard to not wanting to sell your soul to the devil per se, I would say this, something that we've seen, consumers have wised up a lot, and a lot of those incumbents that are, kind of what used car salesmen per se of the space. I think more people like yourself and like the hunting public and those types of people that are just super genuine and do it because they do love it and not because it's not as much of a business. Obviously, they have to make a living.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, they do it because they love it.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest part. A lot of people do it because they love it. Then you got the ones that do it because they love it, but at the same time, they want to make a killing off of it. I remember when one of the talks we had, and he was talking about just for the trip. I was like, look, if we don't even reach what we need for the trip, at least they got whatever we get for the first season, we can use to contribute to the trips. We get there, then we get the best quality footage we can. We upgrade cameras or whatever we got. We make it happen, and next year, maybe when we bring it to the platform and show what we came out, maybe now it's like they got a little belief in us, and then it blows up. And like I said, the hardest part right now for me is, at the moment, I'm still a pro fighter first. And I told him, like, just know when we break that down to people, I won't be able to be on every hunt. I can get some out, but I got a family and a fighter. But within the next few whatever years, whenever I'm done with fighting, at that point, the relationship will be built with these people. And we already got some good quality. Then with me pretty much part-time in it, I'm going to give all I have in the part when I'm there. It's going to be all hunting. But when I'm full-time on it, if you can see the quality we have then, imagine when it's just nothing but this. I can get up and leave, and we can go travel where we can go to Australia. We can go wherever. There's no ties to it because I don't have to worry about camp anymore. So if you guys back us up now early, that was another thing. I like starting with smaller companies. There's a lot of big-name companies and everybody in there. I like hitting the small guys up first. And if we stick together throughout the end, when I make it, you make it. And that's been my saying since I started fighting. Told every sponsor, I don't care what you give me, any dime you give me, when I make it, we make it. And to this day, I still go back to Rockton, Illinois, which was a town with 1,000 people where I'm from. And those people that supported me, I go to their bars or their restaurant, do meet and greets. And I told them from the get-go, I said it when I was just a kid here, when I make it, we make it. So every time I do something, I tag you in the post, I shout it out. Because without you guys, I wouldn't have made it. And so, same thing in the hunting industry. Whoever is with us in the beginning, you're going to be with me at the end. Because my father said, the people you pass on the way up, same people you pass on the way down. So I love to have that loyalty. And if we grow together and we make it together, then it's pretty for everybody.
So I guess the logistics behind the show are, what does that look like? What's your guys' roles? Who's editing that? What is that?
Josh is our camera guy, editor guy, doing a lot of that stuff.
For the moment. He ever step his game up. Like he said, we've been talking about firing him. That's what he said, right?
Yeah,
no, Josh a good dude.
Yeah, Josh was helping me out right away. So like I said, I mean, he just slipped right into that role. And even with Josh, we're all learning as we go with this thing. And so like I said, we're starting from the bottom, and we have other options to get really high quality editing for guys that have been doing it for years. But like I said, we want to build this up together. We want to go up together. I mean, yeah, we could hop on the bandwagon with somebody, but that's just not our mentality.
Just do it the right way, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be doing a lot of our editing. We're all going to be putting our fair share in and learning stuff. I mean, this is a team effort at the end of the day. So just to put everything on one guy, that's not fair either, you know. So as far as that goes, I mean, that's our game plan with that. So.
And the main theme of the show, like it's gonna be a different, like I said, the black and the white, and getting people into hunting. But also, it's gonna be like a different twist to it. Like I tell everybody, it's gonna be the Rob and Big of hunting. You know,
Yeah.
I'm Big Black, and it's Rob Deer Jack. Like the first when we was in that weekend in the blind in the woods, like
We had too much fun.
It
Like,
was kind of too much. At one point, you realize like
we were giggling too loud, laughing too like little schoolgirls.
Like I'm trying to hold my breath not to laugh, and it's just like I'm like, no, shut up. And you bust out laughing like, well, this spot blown. Time to move.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's gonna be those serious moments. But you see on TV, you see cracking and joking, but to see somebody on my standpoint as a pro fighter in a different light, and his standpoint, you see how we mesh together. It's gonna be fun. Not just hunting. Hunting is fun, but it's just gonna be fun in general. If you want to get a good laugh, you're gonna go on YouTube, wherever the platform is, and just you can be able to watch ours at the same time.
I think that's cool because you know, for a while there was a big disconnect that like hunting or outdoor film or content was so, I guess, so professional, like it was unrelatable to a normal person.
100%.
And now you've seen that come full circle with like the Hunting Public and all these other type of YouTube channels, the DIY guys, Jeff Sturgis, and now you see that stuff come all the way. Yeah. Oh, got a bad look over there. I don't know, maybe.
You can't say Sturgis.
Oh, come on. You got a little bad blood there. But you see that stuff come full circle, and I think that style of content is so much more relatable than what, I guess, mainstream outdoor television is.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we look at a lot of me and Josh were just talking about this. We were looking at like a lot of those outdoor channel episodes, and it's just like, I can't relate to that.
Right.
We're not doing that. You know,
Right.
like I said, you watch the Hunting Public, and you see them screw up, and you see those are real guys.
Yeah.
And people can relate to that, and that's why that stuff is blowing up for those guys. That the other stuff, the other trend is dying. It was entertainment for a long time, but now looking at, you know, these other YouTube channels and stuff like that, something that guys can actually go out and do and relate to on public land, things like that. That's what people want to see ultimately.
Agreed.
And then with all the hunting and the laughing, it's also going to be the fitness aspect. We're going to have points and spots in there, or just to take up time, like little workout.
That's point.
That's why I said aspect. I stopped myself.
Yeah,
You know,
anyway.
man, shut up. You know I be fucking up sometimes. But anyway, yeah, do a little workouts you can do. You know, little in-home workouts, things you don't have to have a gym membership to stay fit. You know, to make those stalks and climbing the tree a lot easier. Then he's gonna bring in the whitetail management point every point on other different episodes and bring out the points on that. You know, you want to get the big bucks and you're looking for this, you gotta look for this. You come here, this is how you break this down. You know, find a good tree like this, you find the area. You know, we just put it all together. It's gonna be a whole. You know, when you watch something, you know what you're looking forward to. You know you're gonna look forward to them going out there. They're gonna go out and kill a big deer on some guided place, or you know it's gonna be all time. Most of the time they're gonna kill something, but this is gonna be just different throughout the whole thing. You're gonna get the deer, get the fitness, get the land management, and each time break it down, put it together. And you're not only getting hunting, but you're getting the lifestyle way and off-season work.
Trying to reach some different audiences.
Yeah.
That's how you draw people in. That's the way we were looking at it, at least. So that's our goal.
Change the game.
Change the game.
Well, even, I guess, circling back to a lot of the stuff that you're posting is like your first time doing a food plot. That's as relatable as it gets for people that are trying to get into hunting, like extremely relatable because they're
I
on the same
remember
path.
when somebody was telling me you gotta do a food plot, and I was like, man, I ain't got no equipment. You gotta have a tractor and all that. I started doing YouTube videos and people doing it with rakes, and I was like, you know what? Maybe if I can post and like see me as a fighter, if I can make time in between training. It literally, I went from the gym, went home, showered, got myself loaded the truck, and went out. And like you guys saw me coming home from the gym and blah. Now we out here, we're gonna get it done. It was like 3 o'clock, and by the time I finished, it was getting dark. And like it takes time, but it just takes a little bit of time. You know, a little elbow grease come out, The next time my neighbor had a tiller and electric stuff, hand stuff, they can do a hand. And I bought it, and I did an episode with that. Like, that was a lot faster. If you got access to this, you can do it. Now, next year, we got the property. My dad got a tractor, the tiller, and everything we need down there. So next time we'll be doing, all right, my first time doing it with a tractor and showing all that, how the seeder and the compact and all that works. The compactor, put all that out there. You can see it's different levels to it. If you don't have the tools, here's the rake. The leaf board, whatever you got, using a sled to pull everything in the woods at once. The next time I take different times, taking the tiller and the tools out. The next time I'm like, all right, we just come right to the shop, open the door, we got everything here, and go out. It's levels to this. You got the money and you don't. You're broke or you're rich, but you can do it all and put it together.
Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. Have the DeQuistos invited you out to the farm yet?
They haven't invited me out to the farm, but today Cody did talk to me. They would like to get a hunt with me on camera. So I don't know if that's going to be at the farm or where, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. And just like I told him before, if I don't even get out and hunt with you guys, sit in the stand and watch what you guys do would be awesome.
Yeah, they're a whole nother breed.
That's they are. Sure. Yeah, we've known Cody for 5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just on a different level.
There's something to be said about like that style of hunting and just like their mentality. I honestly, this is one thing I've never heard really anybody talk about. Is I think that there's an instinct.
100%.
And that's something I'm not putting myself in their category at all. But it's like something.
They look at things and
get in the woods
differently than what a normal whitetail hunter does. Like their thought process is different.
100%. And like I said, that's not a thing that a lot of people talk about because a lot of people can't relate to it because they don't know it exists.
Yeah,
right.
Just getting in the woods and putting yourself in a lot of those scenarios, and you just feel something, and you don't know why. It's almost like you're resorting back to like the caveman days when they were like the ultimate apex predator trying to take down whatever animal they were going after. It almost like relates back to something like that. It's an instinct. It's something within you, and you can't tell me that those guys don't have that instinct.
But also at the same time, like you went back and you were saying some people work 40-hour days. They don't have the time to
right.
get that. It grew up because I talked to Pete, my wife's father, Dre's brother, and he said their father wasn't a big hunter.
Right.
They got it from their uncle. I can't remember which uncle it was, but he trapping and all that. And when they was kids, they go up and hang out with him on the weekend. He taught them the hustle and bustle of business, and they kind of took to him. And like his father said, one day they went out on their own and just started hunting. And they just grew into that. And Andre obviously had the mindset, I don't want to. And neither of them had the mindset to work for anybody. They all own their own businesses. But his thing, he wanted to, like you said, he wanted to do something he loved and make it happen. And that was hunting. And then he raised his kids in it. And now there's a whole another generation of this DeQuisto thing. And they, like you said, it's an instinct. It's not just, it's the way they was raised. As kids, you see your father breaking down, making cheese stands, breaking down properties, filming, putting stuff together. So it's Cody and Ashley and all them growing up and seeing it. It's kind of like that's all they know. Like me, it's an instinct just to work hard because that's all I saw from my father. Same thing I'm implementing for my son. I make my son watch, not make him, but he sit and watch hunting with me. He see me train every day, and as he get older, he's gonna know that's just what I grew up doing. That's what my father taught me. So a lot of things my wife asked me, why do you do it? The answer really is just what my family did a whole life. It's just who I am. And that's pretty much what the instinct is. It just goes from what you learn. Andre's uncle taught him, and he taught his kids, and now Cody got his kids, and he's teaching. And if his kids grow into it, like you said, you want your kids to be interested. You take them out. They can catch that interest. They catch the bug, and they stay in it. It's like they catch Lyme's disease in a way. You don't lose it. It's stuck forever. Once you get it in you, you got the hunt bug. You get stuck.
Side note, are you a conspiracy theorist?
No.
Chad thinks Lyme disease was from the government.
100%.
What's your take?
100%.
I'm sure you've done more
My
research
take is that he got that from JRE.
I was gonna say I heard I heard on Joe Rogan.
Lime Island off the coast of Connecticut, 100%.
Yeah, that was Joe Rogan. That was just Monday with Frankie Edgar.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. Well, I said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm screwed either way. So when I heard that, it just kind of got me riled up a little bit. I was like, this better not be like.
Oh, 100%.
Fam about to get these knuckles.
Post-World War II, all the scientists, all the doctors coming. 100%. Have you guys read about it?
I haven't read about it, but when I heard them talk about it, that was the first time I heard them say anything about it, and I was just like,
I've heard it from somebody else.
There's a bunch of information about it.
There's a lot of stuff out there. That's like CWD. They say that's the government. I heard that before.
There's a lot of talk either way on both. That's a whole.
Wisconsin, because that's where it's supposed to start. And they say, "Oh, it was the government putting it." I done heard all kinds of stories. theories on a lot of things, but I mean, we'll never know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean,
We won't ever know.
I hope
the
that's
same.
not the case, but like I said, at this point, I'm screwed anyway. And
Right.
like I said, I mean, it all depends who you are. I know a lot of people who are like, yeah, I got Lyme disease one time, and we're fine. I never found the tick or anything like that, and all of a sudden one day I was just feeling real sick. Next thing I know, I was in the ER, and at the point of like contact wherever that tick bites you is like a bullseye, right? I go into the ER, and all of a sudden they're like, "How long have you had this rash?" And I was like, "What rash?" Crazy how it like happened at that exact time. I looked down, and it was all over my body. The bullseyes were all over my body.
How old were you?
Oh, 19, something like that. I was young, and man, it messed with me for real. Like I said, I was going to infectious disease doctors, looking at people all across the United States. They were taking spinal fluid out and getting these big needles rammed in my back and see if it went to my brain. All these crazy things. And like I said, finally I just looked at the doctors. I was like, did we really know enough? Like, is this going to get anywhere?
Them ticks fucks you up, bro.
Yeah, it was rough. So
You got them all over your body. I only heard like
I don't know
one
what
circle.
it was. Like I said,
You got something else.
So the tick has to be embedded in your skin for 24 hours for it to pass.
allegedly. Yeah.
Is that- yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I think they told me that at that point they figured I had it for like 3 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe that's why I'm as messed up as I am. I don't know, but
That's why when I
it still messes with me to like this day, like brain fog and just like. Not
Is it an
thinking of words.
autoimmune like disorder? Like what is like I don't really know what Lyme disease is.
You name the symptom, and
mean.
I've had it at some point. Like I said, I've like lost my.
inflammation.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking like losing memory and stuff at certain points. And at one time, I went into the ER and I didn't even know what was happening. I couldn't physically speak. I knew my brain knew what it wanted to say. I couldn't speak, and they ran me through a CAT scan. I started throwing up, and then they never really give me answers. Then they do scans of my heart, and they say, "Well, there's a shadow on your heart, and you get this test done." I woke up during the test. They had the hose down my throat, the camera. I woke up during. I looked at the doctor, and the nurse was just like, "Just squeeze my hand, just go back to sleep," and they pumped me with some more, whatever it was. But all kinds of stuff. I've had just about every symptom, but at the same time, nobody ever gives you an answer, so you really don't know what you're dealing with. So like I said, I just try to keep up on your vitamins and stuff like that and do the natural stuff. And what else are you going to do? Feel sorry for yourself? That ain't going to solve anything either. So there's just no answers really out there.
Yep.
And it's crazy. I've never seen a tick until last year. You're like, and they probably have been on me, but somebody had told me they had Lyme disease and all that.
Then you start looking.
I started looking, and I was seeing they was all over me. I go out in the woods, and they would be everywhere. Like, I actually remember once I felt something crawling. I lifted up and pinched it, and I thought it was just like something. It was probably a tick. I never paid no attention, or a flea, a tick, whatever it is. And now it's like I'm in the woods, and I call my wife. I got a lint roller. My buddy told me that for chiggers and everything. I got that.
Chiggers
before.
are so
I got
bad,
those.
dude.
Don't
I
get me
rolled
started.
those, and I caught last year, the first year opening, it was still hot, and it went. I have a bunch of brush. And I had my sleeves rolled up because it was hot, and I crawled in the brush. And I remember the guy telling me, I went out and he met me at the truck. So remember, chiggers is bad out this year. I hope you got your stuff on. And I had it on my sleeves, but I forgot, and I rolled my sleeves, and I'm crawling. And next day I woke up, and my fucking arm was just all the way up to my elbows.
So
And like
bad.
again, I never noticed any of this until people started talking about it. And now I called my wife on the way home from the woods, like, yo, I'll be home in a little
Chiggers.
bit. Meet me outside. And I let neighbors be sitting out there on the porch. I'm naked and right outside. I don't care. Like, she checked my body before
Yeah,
I
I'm the
walk in
same
the
way
house.
now.
Make sure everything is off. And I run in the shower, scrub my head, make sure everything. And luckily, I haven't got it yet. Like, I've pulled a few out of me, like in the woods. Like, I pull off my neck, and I go home, make sure. Like, as long as they in there 24 hours. When I got back from Kentucky that one time, I had one in my back. Literally, I got home. It was probably like 14 hours later. I got home. What is this on? Now, grab and pull. It was tick. Like, how long has it been? All right, I'm good. I took a match and burned my back just to make sure, and that was it.
They're bad, especially in some of the places that we hunt. Chiggers are bad. Chiggers are,
That's horrible. They're
chiggers.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, nothing.
And then you taped everything up that time we were down in Kentucky. He tapes up like his pant legs and like
Yeah.
his wrists.
Yeah.
And then he
It's
didn't
like
drink water
90-some
all day.
degrees.
It was 90-some degrees. And then
I
he
had a
almost
heat
died.
stroke that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, right last night, we all 80 acres in Hill County, Hill Country, excuse me. All the way in the back is this guy that they call Sarge, who's in the Army, and he worked with like vets at the veteran hospital. And I remember when we was riding out there, and I was starting, like, my skin started itching and everything. I'm thinking I'm covered in dirt. We've been working on the land, putting stands up, working on the blinds all day. I'm thinking maybe it's just I'm dirty. I get out the 4-wheeler, like, stay here because it's starting to get dark. I don't know if I get out there and I might not see you. I want you to flash the light or something so I know where we at. I go like 200, 300 yards up this hill. And, like, as I'm going, I start realizing I don't hear the birds and the crickets chirping no more. And I'm like, what the fuck? We just got quiet. Maybe it's getting dark and everything go away. I've never been here at night. And I get to this, I'm like, literally, like, I'm like scratching, like, yo, what the fuck? I go through poison ivy. I get down and hang the camera, and literally, like, my face starts burning. I literally just drop everything, get up, and start booking it. And I'm screaming, sorry. And I see the light, and I'm like completely the wrong way. And I run back, and I realize I left all the stuff on my phone. I run back, grab it quick, and sprint back. When I get there, he ripped my shirt off. He's like, you got the heat? Like, the what? He's like, your body broke down and bump. And, like, when we looked down, I got pictures on my phone, my legs, my chest, everything, like, had bumps like this. Like, because I had my sleeves and stuff taped all day and was sweating and literally had probably 16 ounces of water and 3 beers all day. And, like, literally, it was, like, they got me back to the truck. Like, and you're right, like, I'm good. I know the route. I'm just going to gun it back. Got back, ripped off my clothes, started pouring water on me. Like, I'm literally out there in the gravel naked, down to my drawers and boots. And then I'm just, like, thinking, I'm about to die. Like, this is it. Like, I ain't even tell my wife I love her today. Like, this is it. And, like, they get my breathing calm. And we're getting in the truck and being able to look in my legs. And I still got my pants and my legs just, like, welts everywhere. Like, what the And I get back and they give me Benadryl and put me in the cold shower and throw me in the bed. And I was, man. And I told him, like, a little bit later, I didn't tell you I almost had a heat stroke. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I almost died out there. But that was just my phobia of getting Lyme disease because the first time we went, we brought our dogs. And my dog got the tick shots and all that, so she was fine. My dad brought his dog. He's trying to turn into a deer dog, and it was a small, little bitty thing. And we got home, and we pulled 17 ticks off ourselves, and 2 going in his booty hole at the same time. That was bad. Took it to the groomer. They found 10 more. Then we took it to the vet, and they found 8 more. So that's not going back. Like, if I come back, I'm coming protected because the grass is going to be super high. Yeah. We're going down to cut the grass and cut trees. So got out the truck, duct taped everything, put methane on. And like I said, I didn't have no ticks, but I almost died. But I was scared of getting Lymes because we're going to be out there all day. Yeah. That's just nature, though. Like my wife said, you know you're going to get ticks all the time. You're out there all day. Like, well, now I know it's just part of it, but just check me. That's it.
Even, I mean, we use permethrin and spray down. But
I mean, none of that stuff
there's still
works.
Like I don't know, like that one trip, I pulled 3, 4, 5, 6 out of me just at night. Like, just that's just something I'm cautious of. Like, if I'm in the woods, spending a lot of time, especially in Southern Ohio. It's worse in Southern Ohio than it is in Northern Ohio. But you get down there and spend time. Like, when you get back to wherever you're going, like, you strip, you check yourself, you shower, you check yourself in the shower, you get out of the shower, you check yourself again. You wake up in the morning, you check yourself again.
Yeah.
New Jersey is the worst. Like,
that's what they said out
I've
east.
I've heard that, yes.
Out east it's bad.
Actually,
because of Lyme Island,
I heard
that. Connecticut.
I heard
that.
Yeah.
It was like one time it was so bad. We actually went to fights. Me, him, and another buddy, and I'm sitting down on the floor, and they up in the bleachers. And I remember I'm sitting, and I feel something on my back, and as I get lower, I reach back there and get it. And this is in the Philadelphia 76ers stadium. And I'm in dress clothes. I hadn't been in the woods all day. And I have a tick on my back. And I tell you, like, yo, I got a tick from your fucking car. Like, you get it from my car because I make sure everybody roll down and we check before we get in the car. Like, yo, and I thought, like, was there a chance, like, a tick just happened to be wandering around in the arena or what? Was it in my shoe and worked his way up?
That's the thing I've heard, though. Out east like that, they're real bad.
It's that bad.
So
and I was scared.
I've seen Dr. Woods do some things with CO2, right? So they detect CO2 like when it's being put off from your body, I guess, and that's what they are attracted to some way.
I've never seen him talk about that.
Yeah. Dr. Woods has a –
yeah.
You probably find it on YouTube.
Probably, yeah.
YouTube it.
I'll check that out.
Trick to beat the ticks I heard from Army vet. Eat the tip of a match before you go out.
What?
No. He said he used to do it. That's what they did in the Army.
Is it sulfur?
Like, yeah. He said when your body start to sweat, like when your pores open up, it doesn't let the ticks. Ticks don't like that. They won't touch your body. He said it's better than permethrin and everything. He said it's just a little bitter taste for a little bit. He said we had to do it every day in the military. We get up, everybody grab one match and eat it before we go out in the field. They're like Green Berets. Hey, I ain't do it. But he said,
you do it?
No. I'm black. First of all, we don't do no dumb shit like that. But he was like, I run every day in the woods, and I've never seen a tick on me. I ate that match every morning, and I run in the woods every day in the summer. I've never had a tick on me. Like, I guess good for you, because I can't see myself eating no match. There's wood particles in that.
There's got to be a better way to get sulfur.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
I ain't eating no matches either.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
funny.
they coming from the army, though. They brainwashed.
They did a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of weird stuff.
A lot of weird stuff.
Well, you guys have an interesting dynamic flow of conversation. We talked a lot of different stuff, but it's all been good.
Yeah.
Good conversation about everything.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, that's why I think we're going to mesh well, too, with this whole Rise and Grind Outdoors thing. So if people go check that stuff out, I think you're going to be in for – you really don't know what you're going to be in for every episode. Like I said, we're going to be hunting a lot and doing stuff like that, but Corey's going to come at it with the MMA side of things. I'll help with the whitetail land management side of things, the habitat management stuff, and who knows what kind of comedy and stuff they're going to run into along the way. I'm sure there'll be plenty. There ain't much I can do about it because I know he can take me. So
It's just going to be natural, man. Nothing's
That's
going
the
to be
biggest thing.
forced. There's no script. It's literally we're going to get in the truck, just like we're doing this whole weekend. Get in the truck. Josh got the camera, have GoPros
keep it rolling.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And get stuff rolling. And we're just going to get content, and we'll put it together.
Mm-hmm.
And we take the funny scenes, we take the serious scenes, we take the fight scenes, the laughter. I'm sure we're going to have arguments. We're going to have disagreements.
it's
Everybody
life, man.
does. That's exactly. And then you're going to have the most important thing, the harvest. At the end of the day, that was like one of the things I figured from the first trip. Like, we went out there expecting to kill, but we came up with this new friendship, this new idea. And the greatest thing I took of it was I haven't laughed that hard in a long time with like a complete stranger. Like, if we can get people to see that, make hunt camp that much more fun. Go in on like a random hunt with a few different dudes that you barely know, and just get out there and get to know them. That's how you get to know somebody really well. You got plenty of time to sit there and whisper back and forth. The deer ain't coming right away, so.
Yeah, we took advantage of that time.
Yes, we did. Yeah, there was very
much.
few silent moments, but it was quiet enough where they couldn't hear us.
So is that the first time you've ever hunted with another like adult individual, like in the stand or in the blind with you?
No, that wasn't my first time,
No?
but somebody I didn't know.
Yeah,
It was.
it's
And I've done it.
a little different, like being with someone like that intimate, like you're trying to be quiet.
That's how we get to know That's how we get to know each other,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I do blind hunts in Jersey with a few different people. Him, my other buddy, a stay blind, a veteran as well. We double up in the blind all the time. I go to a spot where I know there's does and a possible buck come out, whatever. If I shoot a doe first and the buck come out, guess what? He getting the buck. If I shoot the buck and the doe, many times we got to just get two, just looking for meat,
Yeah.
When I get meat, let's go out. Sitting there, watch football on his phone, volume off, and if I get one, all right, give it about 15 minutes. They'll be back. He take one, all right, we out.
Yeah, there's a special dynamic to sharing a stand or a hunting blind with somebody.
Yeah.
There's no other situation that's really like it. You really can't explain it. Unless you do it, you just don't get it,
Yeah.
And that's, a lot of good relationships, I'm sure, are built that way, whether it's the first person that ever took you hunting, your father, your brother, your cousin, whoever it is. That's a special thing for me, at least. Like I said, that's a situation that can't be replicated.
Yep.
I've been in the blind or staying with people, you don't really talk. You just got that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like last camp, I had this Brazilian come out, and he hunts in Brazil. Oh, me and my father hunt. Oh, you want to come out with me? We don't know much English. But we sat in that blind, and like the trail camera on the other side probably go off, and I show him, oh, that's big. Like, that's good. He come, and at the end, you have fun. But that was fun. I never hunted in America. That was cool to see white-tailed deer I never seen. And then he's back now. He's in Jersey now, and saw his first snow this time. It was cool because he doesn't get to see this stuff. Somebody from a different culture, and we don't talk because everything is Google Translate usually. But like I said, every time we have a good time. He's smiling at the end. I'm smiling, and we grow as a brother. Like all the time, I tell everybody, "Nah, that's my brother. That's my brother. He take care. That's my brother. I appreciate Corey." And it's just cool. Not many words are ever said in the blind between us, but we have that bond. We understand.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, and it's fun just to read somebody's demeanor. You got the people that's sitting there just bored. Of course, I take a lot of people out in the blind with me, and they don't hunt, but they want to see it. You can see some get bored, and they lose interest. They in their phone, and they kind of start spacing out and not paying attention. Then you got some, you look at them, they kind of like just waiting for something, They can't wait to see something. It's anything. Like, oh, look, can you shoot that? Can you shoot that? Like, nah, you can't shoot that. You're like, oh, I should have shot that. That's cool. And then like, bro, that was dope. I never sat in nature and just watched things move like that. It's kind of, I see how you can get away in that all day. And that's kind of, again, another thing I want to do with the show. It's not just hunting. It's the camaraderie we come with here in the nature and everything you can learn from animals, and you can learn from the squirrel to learn about the deer. You know, other deer, when they come in, you can tell when something else is coming. They start looking and start acting funny. It's like I'd sit there sometimes and just watch the deer just to see the way they mimic and act.
Just their
when they come around.
mannerisms.
Yeah,
Yep,
just to
learn
learn.
the body language.
So next time I come out, if a deer start doing that and checking up and down, he's noticed this.
Yeah.
Or a bird.
Blue jays.
Told me? Yeah, blue jays. Somebody told me, it said blue jays tell you when they start chirping, they
Yep.
take off. Something is coming. I never knew that.
Yep.
You know. But then when you start paying attention to it, you'll see it. All of a sudden, you start looking around, and sure enough, here come that deer somewhere. Like, man, he was right.
Yeah, that's something that's probably a little bit of a lost art, like some of that woodsmanship about reading the body language of whether it's a whitetail, squirrels, blue jays, like blackbirds, whatever it is. Like in today's age, I feel like that's something that's kind of gone not completely by the wayside, but as woodsmen's, like
Something that's
we've all.
overlooked.
Yeah, like I guess everyone in this room or in this circle that I guess is mic'd up, like we've all grown up and progressed in a similar manner as hunters. Like we all started, small game hunting at a young age, and then like the progression to deer hunting was like, all right, well, that's like your progression into manhood. Like now you can go hunt with all your uncles or dad or whoever, like the family. And I think now that's that step of like small game hunting and being in the woods and like learning how to shoot squirrels and just go out and be a kid and like not kill stuff like in a sociopath way, but like go out and kill stuff because that's what you're a boy and that's what you do. Like I feel like there's that gap is missed in today's era.
Yeah, I think so. And I think a lot of times when you get older, not the technology, I mean, there's good and bad sides to it, but I think the technology side of things, it's just so much easier to read an article nowadays and just apply that instead of learning it organically. Things like that. And you got apps to learn topography and things like that. I mean, it's just, there's different ways to learn it now. And maybe it's not as organic, but it's still a way to learn it, I guess, at the end of the day. But I feel like that kind of gets all lost in translation as well, too.
Kind of like MMA. You got the casuals at MMA. You got the casuals of hunting. Those that see the kills, and they just want to instantly get to that. And they get out there, and if I don't kill anything, it's boring. I don't want to go out no more. I didn't enjoy the hunt. Then you got the ones that actually went with somebody, and they realize at a young age you don't always see stuff. But it's about the lessons and being out in nature. Like I tell people all the time, I can go out and sit. I did all day sits and didn't see anything. I did all day sit in Canada in negative 22 degrees and couldn't feel my fingers or my toes and didn't see jack shit with 2 moose right at last light. But guess what? I enjoyed the hell out of that because that whole time I seen the squirrels, I seen the way different birds and stuff act. I never been to Canada. To see a moose, and like, that was scary because it was dark and you just see a big black hole. You think the world comes to you, and all of a sudden it's like poof, these things pop out. It's like, yo, it's a moose. Like, it's a moose. There's some meeses. Like, you know what I'm saying? But so you and to see that, just to think, if I wasn't out here all day, if I would have got out early because I didn't see anything, I would have missed that chance to see the moose, you know? And just like I said, different things. Just seeing the way the birds act around the bait, they can tell you what was coming here. By the end of the week, I figured out when the deer were coming from the birds and the different animals. Just I could tell. I had seen them. But one time they just sat there all day. And this time the squirrels are jumping off and they come back. And they jump off and they go back. Okay, I think maybe something coming. And sure enough, a buck come this way. So later on, I see the squirrels on the bait and I'll say, take off. And they come back. And they stay skittish. And I'm like, all right, get my bow, get ready. Something's coming eventually. You know, I just love sitting out there and learning. And, you know, I see the owls in the trees sometimes, whatever, but I film them. I enjoy that. See an owl start his head turn or whatever. He looking down at you and you looking at him. He know you there. It's like, this is just cool. Just to capture this moment.
Yeah.
It don't have to be a kill. Just the great outdoors. Like they said, the great outdoors. You just have to be out there to realize, you know, all about hunting. It's just great to literally be outside to get the fresh air. And nowadays with so many tablets and electronics for kids, they not getting out there. No, I mean, simple things like cutting grass and stuff. I was at a young age, that was it. I remember my lawnmower broke this summer and I put a thing out there, $60, and the kids come cut my grass. And I don't even have an acre yard. You know, my lawnmower.
I come mow your grass for $60.
And everybody I talked to, my kids was like, nah, they don't want to go do that. Not
That's
for
crazy.
$60. That ain't enough. Like, are you kidding me? You can hand mow this in like 20 minutes. And I was like, okay, whatever. But it's just a lost art now.
Yeah.
Kids, they don't enjoy it. They want to go out. They want to kill something instantly. They got to get impatient. Take them fishing. They need to catch something right away. If not, they get bored. They give up. I was listening to a podcast or something. They said if you're going to take somebody for the first time, you better off taking a kid to like a farm pond or like a guide place was guaranteed just so they can get that in them and maybe they'll stick to it. And I just, growing up, I didn't have that. I found out the hard way and I grew to love it. Being out with my father, walking the tracks, those are things, the memories I have as a kid, and I enjoy being out.
Yep. Well, what I mean, you guys had I guess preluded to what you guys had in store for the year. You have your camp coming to a close with on the main card next week. Is it next week? Next week.
The 15th. So 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Is there, obviously there's going to be another fight this year after that. Is there any time for turkeys in between there? Like, what's the next couple months look like for you guys?
Biggest thing I want to do is get down to Kentucky to the property and shed hunt that. I want to definitely see, like we said, we seen the big ones on camera, but if we can find out where they bed, this was our first year. My father owned it since 2012, but I just found out about it. We never been down there. So to see where we found that much potential in this short year to get down there in June and be hunting in December and don't really have time to learn it. We got the maps now. We got everything mapped out on the apps. He got OnX, I got base maps. They're about the same. To break everything down, I want to get down there, find the sheds, figure out the beds, find the rub lines and old scrapes, whatever that's around, and we can put it all together in a timely manner next year and get the plots in, be killer. But then after that, ask for hunts. Like I said, I can get to Texas. We want to do a hog hunt down in Texas. Go do some exotics, do total archery challenge. And
we'll try and slip some turkeys in there.
Yeah, so you're going to get some turkeys.
Yeah.
I did turkey last year at the bow. It was hard. That was my first time. And again, self-taught, studying YouTube and all that. And I shot one. There's blood on my arrow. Just never found it.
Yeah, it's tough with the bow.
Especially with the bow. But there's something to be said about just shooting with the gun. That's a different.
I'm a gun guy when it comes to turkeys.
Yeah, there's just something about shooting. You took the words out of my mouth.
That's why I had everybody tell me, like, bro, I'm telling you, it's your first time. You better get a gun. You shoot them right in the head and it's over. There's no question. Yeah. Like, I want the challenge. And like I said, I hit it, and I saw it take off. Like, oh, that's a dead turkey. Like, it was got. The rest of them took off, and he was giving, like, yeah, he's going to be dead behind that tree. And he never came out. I'm thinking, oh, he's back there. I go get him. He wasn't there. And I never found him. Like, yo, what the fuck happened to that turkey? Like, oh, no, they go bed themselves somewhere and brush them. Never find them. Yeah. And it's like, dang, that's a learning experience, though.
They're tough. Take a shotgun and shoot him in the face.
Yeah, that's my style.
I think I'm going to get one with a bow before I do it with a shotgun. I think I want to get one with the bow before I do it with the shotgun. If I say I did that, then I know I'm going to get it with the shotgun.
It's true.
I'm still going to use shotgun.
Yeah, I'm shotgun.
I don't care. I'm shotgun.
To each their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, as for hunts this year, we got a lot of ideas. We got this weekend, we plan on getting it all mapped out. This is our first time sitting down together. Like I said, got a few places we can do elk hunts. We can go to Canada and do Saskatchewan whitetail again. We can go do black bear in Saskatchewan. We can do black bear in Vancouver Island. We can go do cougar in Vancouver Island, but I don't eat a cougar. Anything we can't eat, we won't kill. Do elk in Montana or Vancouver Island. I can go do blacktail buck or access buck in Texas. There's a lot of different options we have. Just got to figure it out, put it together. And like you said, with my schedule being a fighter, get a logical plan that's easier to keep than coming out with like 10 different hunts that I plan on being on every one and not only make it to 2.
Right.
He can get a lot more than me. And being part of the show, I want to make sure we can make it happen in a timely manner and make sure it go through that. We're not telling people we're doing it and it never happens. And
that's the thing, even personally, I want to do this year is I want to try and get outside of just the whitetail thing. It's always really hard. Like, it's something like elk hunting. Always want to do it, just never have. Maybe you want to go chase down moose or bear, but it always comes back to whitetails for me. It's just I don't know why. That's my addiction. That's what I always want to go after. So we'll fit in some new stuff finally. Even going out and get a mule deer. I mean, it's still deer at the end of the day.
Yep.
I've hunted South Dakota. I hit a couple whitetails out there, and just to try maybe mule deer. Just do the spot and stalk, something different. That's something that I'm going to try some new stuff this year.
You ever duck hunt?
Yeah, I've duck hunted.
Oh, see, I ain't never duck hunted, so I want to do that.
Not much.
I did
in
pheasant
college.
hunting.
Yeah, pheasant hunting.
And do like goose hunting. So, just try the different stuff.
That's the biggest thing.
Maybe even do some bow fishing. Who knows? Get somebody with a spot bow. We make it out there,
fun.
Get on some shallow water. I did it once in high school for carp with a buddy. That was fun. But I want to get out there and do like some different fish from further distance, some close. We get them in the spotlight,
Yeah.
Like I said, I just want to broaden horizon and try a little bit of everything. Anything you can eat, I want to have it done with the bow.
100%. Like I said, I'm a big whitetail guy, but I just want to try new stuff too. Yeah, I can't knock it till you try it. That's my thing. So we'll go try some new stuff, and it's going to be an adventure. There's going to be laughs along the way, and hopefully people enjoy what we got to show them, I guess. If not, too bad.
Well, perfect. I think we'll call it quits there. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for stopping by and recording. We really appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
Look forward to following your guys' year and Rise and Grind Outdoors, and pretty excited.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, guys.
Yes, thank you guys very much.